Hello, hello, hello. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. When I have my release of my album, which is coming out in 2018, if I ever could even figure out how to do it all from GarageBand, I would just do it now. But anyway, I'm gonna have like my album is gonna start with like a good morning song, and it's gonna end with a good night song. But anyway, I have my list for the day right here, and I have my Sharpie that I'm crossing things off. And I was just sitting here and I was like, I am going to cross off everything on my list today, because I have not been very good at that lately. And so I try to be very realistic today about the things that I want to get done. And I already have 1, 2, 3 things crossed off. I had a business meeting today. I already did that. I had to text certain people about meetings to set up. I did that. I had to write down on my receipt, the movie tickets that I paid for. I did that. I have not done my meditations for the day. I'll do that when I get home. Oh, I didn't even write down videos on here. See, this is why I have to have a pen with me at all times. My car is like really like my office. I'm going to the bank right now, and then I'm gonna get a coffee. And then everybody told me to get a fan at World Market, and when I was in Carmel the other day, World Market was closed for technical reasons. I don't even know what that means when a store's closed for technical reasons. So, I think the trick to getting everything done on your list is to be realistic with what you can get done in a day, if that makes sense. So that is my day, my game plan. I finished Orange is the New, I'm almost out of gas. I finished Orange is the New Black last night. One of the things I need to do is trim this damn beard. It's so big right now. I love that show so much, but like, I feel like they always leave it with a cliffhanger, which just irritates the shit out of me. I hate when shows do that. I feel like there should be some kind of resolution. And Orange is the New Black used to have a resolution at the end of each season, but the last 2 seasons, they've left major cliffhangers. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, seriously, why would you do that? Like, that is not cool. So anyway, I'm just gonna sit here at the light. It's yellow, but I'm gonna sit here so I can write on my list that I need to do. I can't believe I didn't write down videos. Make videos. Buy fan. So oh, I know, I was gonna do the rest of my list in my office, but I just left my office because I was like, let me get out of here. People ask me about my bottles of water all the time. So I buy new bottles of water if I don't have any in my car. But typically what I do, you guys, this is so funny. Like, I'm not a person that has a problem with tap water. I'll drink tap water. I just like cold water. So I buy a bottle, and then when I'm done, literally I just go, bitch, and I pitch it back there. And there's at any given time, I can tell you right now, there's probably 1 or 2 if I can't reach that far. But there's always like 5 or 6 or 8 bottles back there, and then I just carry them all in at the same time and I fill them up. See, I have another bottle, a bigger bottle in my bag right now. What's in your bag? Well, I have that ginormous water bottle, but I'm getting coffee, so it probably won't be drank in a second. And then I always keep gum in my car because you want to have fresh breath. My car's typically usually spotless. Other than that, there's nothing in here. Like, I always have a hat. In case I go somewhere and my hair looks shitty, I need a hat. I always have a hat in my car. Right now I have like 3 hats. But like, I have a book I need to return to the library. I have 3 hats and probably a couple empty bottles of water back there. But like, for me, that's not trash because I like recycle them. And so, like, other than that, like, my car I don't ever really allow it to get, like, that trashy, you know what I mean? Because there's no reason for that. I read this book years ago. It's a really, really great, like, self-help book. I'll see if I can find it and talk about it on here or on my meditation channel. But you know what? And I found it just like at like, do you ever go to like, it used to be Kinko's, but now I think they're all FedEx's. And but it was like called How to Remove Clutter from Your Life. And it was like, or How to Organize Your Life or something like that. It was like this white book, and it had this like cartoon character of a woman on the front of it cleaning. But I got it and I started reading it, and really what it was about was like removing like emotional and mental clutter from your life by cleaning your space, which I think is so interesting because I was just watching that movie not too long ago, the documentary about minimalism, and talking about the less you have, the more meaningful things are in your life, and it's all about removing clutter, and I'm all about that. Like, that's gonna be this summer, is me removing clutter from my life so that when the fall starts, we can just have this like totally enjoyable clutter-free life. Okay, I'm getting ready to go through the bank, so we'll be back in just a minute. So I bought a new fan. Beast! Look at that fan. Oh my God, it's so nice. I hope I don't rip this one. Beast! And now I'm going to go to the post office and then home to make my videos. I want to be home by 4. It's 3:15 right now. And why, Peter, do you want to be home by 4? Because I want to take a shower and trim my beard and make my videos, and I'm going to get up like that. And then I'm going to relax for the evening. I am almost done. Oh, I wanted to go to Goodwill too. I'm almost done reading that book that I was talking about last night, and I want to start another one tonight. They're so good. I'm so into them. What did the one that I read tonight called? The Reunion. Or no, the Yearbook. I wonder if there will be the Reunion. They're so good, you guys. Those like scary novels from like, I don't know, like the late 80s or early 90s. I'm like obsessed with them. I have like 6 of them right now, and I want like 50 of them. I always want more of everything. I wonder if there's a Goodwill in Carmel. I should check and see before I go anywhere. Well, now I'm stuck. Damn it. I'm sure there is a Goodwill around here, but where do you think it is? Shoot. I'm like stuck in a traffic jam anyway. Nobody's coming behind me, so I'm gonna look around me. Goodwill. Please don't anybody come. Let's see where it's at. Oh my God, 145 yards back. Can I do a reversal of fortune? Look at this. Please, police officers, do not come for me. But I'm gonna... I don't want to... Oh my God, I did it. Oh my God, there it is. It's right there. You guys, seriously, this is too funny that I was talking about Goodwill. And look, Goodwill is right there. I'm like, oh, I wonder where there's a Goodwill. Is there a Goodwill around here? You ask for it, you get it. Look, it's right there. How funny is that? Now, if you don't know what you don't know is a lot. I'm obsessed with going to Goodwill because I'm like trying to find the entire series. Well, actually any of these old books. So, oh my God, that is so funny. Things happening the way it's supposed to today. Okay, I'm back. That was a really good Goodwill, actually. First of all, they had a restroom. And I had to go to the bathroom so bad. So you would like to know if I got anything? Of course I did. Now, the book selection wasn't as great as the other places, but I actually think they had some like older books in there, like Harlequin romances, that might have been worth something. I almost got one because I had said I wanted to read one because my grandma used to read them, but it just looks so cheesy on the back of it. But anyway, they have all of these, like, okay, how I like the horror novels for teenagers, like they have like all of these like romance novels for teenagers. Like Wasted Time and The Forbidden Summer. They're all, like, I would never read those, but if you like those, they have a ton of them at Goodwill. So the first one I got is, I have no idea what this is called, but it looks like an after-school special, and it's called 13 is Too Young to Die. It looks real tragic, and it's a real short read, you guys, so. The dinner was delicious, but Alexa could barely taste the rich gravy, cranberry sauce, and turkey. Oh my God, Thanksgiving. Okay. And then this one, when was this published? This doesn't even talk about what it's about. So like, this is typically not what I like, but it's from Avon Upper Elementary Library Indianapolis, Indiana. I've never even heard of that school. This was published in 1980. Then the next one I already looked came out in 1979, and it is Who Killed Daddy? Amateur detective Donna Rothford finds herself in the middle of a mystery again. Her friend's father has suddenly disappeared, and so has $200,000 from the bank where he worked. Donna and her boy-crazy sister Abby begin to investigate and come up with a surprising list of suspects. That looks really good. But then the best, you guys, was I found 2 Diana Ho books, okay? And these are the ones that I'm looking for. I got Fun House. You'll have to be punished for that, Tess, the voice said. When the Devil's Elbow roller coaster goes off its track and several teenagers are hurt, everyone thinks it was just an accident, so no one listens when Tess says she saw someone tampering with the track. Okay, I cannot. I love these. I love these. If you guys can find these, and they're ones that I don't own, this used to belong to Lindsay Hayes. I don't know who she is, but thank you, Lindsay Hayes. 69 cents. And then the Nightmare Hall, which I'm trying to collect this was discarded by Westfield Public Library. I'm trying to own all of them in Nightmare Hall. And there's The Silent Scream, The Roommate. This is The Roommate. Deadly Attraction, The Wish, The Scream Team, and Guilty. I wonder if you have to, like... Okay, let's read about the author. Writing tales of horror makes it hard to convince people that I'm a nice, gentle person, says Diane Ho. So what's a nice woman like me doing scaring people? Having the time of my life, discovering the fearful side of life, what makes the heart pound. Diane Ho grew up in Warren, Pennsylvania. Since then, she has lived in New York, Colorado, and North Carolina before settling in Austin, Texas. I love her books. They're so scary. You guys, you're probably like, Peter, why are you obsessed with these stupid little books? I don't know. Like, I am totally obsessed with them this summer. I kind of go through this with reading where I get really excited about stuff, and this is like the one that I'm excited about right now, so. Yeah. What is this car doing? He's just gonna have to wait. I hate when people one of my biggest pet peeves is when people have to back into a space perfectly, and then they ruin everybody's parking experience because of that. I just texted my husband that I went to World Market to get this fan, and that they have all kinds of really cute stuff. That's not true. I've been in World Market many times, but it's really stepped up its game. The furniture is cute in there. I was like, we can afford some of this furniture for our house because we're trying to get some stuff redone, you know? And I was like, it's really cute in here. I was like, we need to come back here. Everything is on sale right now. Tanya would love their clothes. It's totally like that beatnik kind of chic hippie stuff that she loves. So I'm gonna take Tanya back over there sometime too. They have all kinds of stuff. I loved that store, so thank you whoever told me to go there and get a fan. Ugh, these roundabouts kill me. Do you guys have roundabouts where you live? I'm so over them. We're not England, and we don't know how to drive on them. Nobody here knows how to drive on roundabouts, not even me. Ugh. 84 degrees and it's absolutely beautiful today. Let's open this a little bit. Big plump clouds in the sky. I'm gonna make my videos. I'm so excited about that. I love making videos. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to this one. See, she doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know if she's going around the roundabout or turning, and she turned in from the wrong lane. See, that's how an accident can happen on a roundabout. They're dangerous. We were better off when we just had stoplights. Nobody knows how to use them. As I get closer and closer to making my videos, I get lazier and lazier about not wanting to actually take a shower and trim my beard. But I timed it the other day. I literally, from the time I start trimming my beard to taking a shower to everything, I can be done and completely dressed, hair dried and everything in 20 minutes, right? So I have no excuse to not do it on a daily basis, but I'm lazy as hell. So that's my goal, is to try to get not so lazy and to actually do this today. But then I kind of like my beard a little bit longer, but then today, when I look in the mirror, it's out of control long. I've been trimming it at a 2 because some people told me they like it a little bit longer and that the 1 looks too short, but when I leave for Mexico, I'll probably trim it down to a 1 so that I don't have to trim it while I'm gone. Which Alex and I are just texting back and forth about how we're so ready to leave for vacation. I love summer. Don't you love summer? I haven't been to the pool yet, and it's the 19th of June. I need to go to the pool. Maybe I'll go to the pool later today. If I hadn't stayed up so damn late watching Orange is the New Black, I could have got up today and done my videos early and everything, and then I'd just be like, boom, 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 boom. I want to do a story time video today. It's one that I really wanted to do with Tanya, but oh well. She's too busy for me. Tanya Jean Applestein. This new car dealership up here is called The Collection, and it's like 3 stories. If you guys want to see it, it's right next to my favorite restaurant. Joke, Bob Evans, but I do love Bob Evans. But do you see this? It's like this really fancy place, and it's called The Collection. Do you see that? And they have like 3 cars in there. And if you go in there, which I haven't, but I've driven by and I can see it, it's like a Maserati, a Lamborghini, and something else. Right next to the Bob Evans. It's pretty fancy, don't you think? Do you ever see things about the world and you're like, I wonder if people see things the same way that I do? Like, that car dealership does not belong there. Like, why would you put that right next to a Bob Evans? That makes no sense. Do you think that your clientele at Bob... No, I mean, not that people that go to Bob Evans can't afford a Maserati, but let's just be for real. How many Maseratis have you seen in the parking lot of Bob Evans? Not many. Now, a pickup truck, like a, you know, Ram 3600 or whatever dealership right there, that would make a lot of sense to me. But not a Bob Evans next to it. The Collection. The other thing is, where I was just a second ago, gas was 13 cents more than it is right here, and I have not even been on this thing 10 minutes. So in less than 10 minutes, it's a 13-cent difference. I think that's kind of crap, don't you? These are just my thoughts. Hey, but pennies make dollars. I feel like I just filled my gas tank like 2 nights ago. Where have I driven? I feel like I've driven that far. Did you hear that? That was just that pickup truck, or that semi-charney, and that made all that noise. I don't feel like I've driven that far the last couple days. Look at my beautiful hair. Alex and I went to the movie. We went to Broaderpool and we ate. We went to his aunt's. Yeah, I don't feel like I really went that far. Oh well. I should just pull up in there and get gas then, shouldn't I, since I'm on low and I've got 46 miles until empty, but I don't feel like it. How is your week going so far? This will be your Tuesday when you're watching this. If you really think that out, does that ever weird you out? Like when you're watching it, like I'm really living a day behind. Ah, shit. Construction. I feel like all there is in the summer is construction. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, as I'm talking right now, when you're watching this, hasn't even happened. Like, that's so weird, isn't it? Oh, this person in this Range Rover said, oh, I don't care. I saw that construction coming a mile away. And everybody's like, we're not going to let you in. I'll let you in. Turd. See, now here's all these car dealerships. There's Mercedes-Benz and Porsche. And across the street is this Eddie Merlot's, which is this really nice restaurant. This would make sense to have that collection, like, right here. You know what I mean? Why don't people think that way? There is this place coming up here, unless they closed it. It was this car dealership, and I think it is actually a Maserati dealership. There's Honda, Harley Davidson. Nissan. My favorite car I've ever driven was a Nissan Xterra. I've driven a Nissan Pathfinder and a Nissan Xterra, and my favorite was the Nissan Xterra. So if you drive one, you're pretty badass. I love it. And right behind me right now is a Porsche Carrera Silver. I love that car. I would love to drive that car. I feel like that's a lot of money to pay though for like a Porsche that's like an SUV. I love them, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I would want to drive like my dad has a Carrera and he loves it. Okay, here is Hyundai. There it is right there. Maserati, Alfa Romeo, Fiat. I bet they don't sell probably many Maseratis in Indianapolis. What does a Maserati go for? 100 and something? Do you know? Hello, I'm talking to you. Why aren't you talking back to me? Rude. And here's H.H. Gregg to the right of us. And it's like this huge, it was this huge store that was all like appliances. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. And they just went out of business June 1st. You think that would have been pretty smart for us to go there and buy a new washer and dryer, don't you think? Since the only thing keeping us from doing it is pure laziness. And I'm sure they had all kinds of going out of business sales. That was so stupid of us. Oh well. We can plan a trip to Mexico, but we can't buy a new dryer. There's this place right here, this new place to eat, and it's called... Do you guys do this when you drive? You just like look at places. It's called Joella's Hot Chicken. No lie, it's been like 15 different places and it can never stay open, but I've never heard of Joella's Hot Chicken. Have you heard of it? I think it sounds kind of good. I don't know Joella, and I don't know what her chicken is, hot or cold, but I think it might. Stacked pickle, don't like that place. What's that? I love salad. Ooh, I never heard of that place. I'm gonna go there and try a salad. I love salads. These places in here, they all closed. Do you guys see this? Like, my hair and shit is out of control. I get my hair cut on Wednesday. One of the things that's really weird about my hair is that, like, when I was, okay, so I had like a faux hawk forever, like all the way down my back, and not like all the way down my back, but like my hair in the back and all the way up here was like a faux hawk. I mean, I had it for years, and so this was real short, and this was all real long. Not real long, but it was like longer, and it kind of like would lay down on top of each other when it was like I didn't do it. But like I would get out of the shower and my hair would just like stand up straight like that. And my hair was like really like, my hair, I've always had like tons and tons of hair, but like my hair was like a different consistency. And now that it's turned like gray and white, it's like coarse and thick, like really thick and wiry, which I don't hate because I like to use product. Nobody will let me go up and nobody will let me get over. There is this dump truck thing in front of me, this asphalt truck, and I can't get over. I'm going over. But anyway, so like if I take a shower and actually do it, it's easy to manipulate, right? With product, I love like clays in my hair. But when I don't do my hair and I just throw in a hat like this, something's always sticking out, and I hate it. Like my sideburns are so long right now too. I must not have like got it really trimmed that much last time when I was in there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to make sure that my beard is trimmed like way down when I go in this time. Now hiring at Geico. Mickey D's deals. You can get an orange juice. Oh wait. Something mango smoothie and a chicken salad sandwich. Try to make it look real healthy, but you know it's not. Let's see what gas is over here. I got in a car accident, or I got in an accident right there when I was 18 years old. See, 13 cents more. I was hit by a van going 45 miles an hour. I've talked about that on my vlog in here before, and I was thrown and lifelined to the hospital. Stormy weather. I feel like this is kind of my day every day, like driving around running errands. And I don't mind it. Do you guys ever think like, oh my god, Peter spends so much time in the car? I like think that all the time. I'm like, what is the deal? I am in my car all the time. Oh my gosh, you know what? There's another Goodwill on the way home. Should I stop there? It's right here. I wonder if they have any of those books. Like, I'm right there. I should stop, shouldn't I? I was just there though the other day. I bought them out of all those. But what if they have new ones? Like, what if somebody just like brought in like 10 of them? If I went in there and they had like the entire series and like they had just been delivered, I would lose my shit so bad. I'd be like, oh my god. I would just read them back to back to back to back to back. I did get really kind of scared on my front porch last night though, reading them. There's this hot dog place right here that, like, I love hot dogs and I've wanted to go in here and try a hot dog so bad. I'll tell you what it's called. Is it out of business now? It's called, it's right on the edge. Yep, it's still open. It's called Big City Style Hot Dog. Doesn't that sound so good? Like just a big hot dog. I like relish and mustard on mine. I can do ketchup too, but I don't love it. I like relish and I like onion and I like mustard. Maybe mayonnaise, but not typically. I like, what do you call those when you put like this stuff on the dogs? Coney dogs. I like Coney dogs, but not really. My dad loves Coney dogs. That dude was picking his nose. He was driving like this, and his wife was just sitting there talking to him. I thought, if I ever looked over at my husband, he was just picking away at his nose with his pinky, I would say, could you please take your finger out of your nose? That's disgusting. I just, can you even imagine? I mean, come on, people. Here I am at Goodwill again. This is the most exciting vlog ever, don't you think? You guys are like, this is totally the most exciting. But you say you like to hear me talk, and I could talk about anything. So I've now talked for almost 30 minutes. I may not even have to vlog tonight at all. Bye. Hello. My hair is so long right now. It is 2:42. I did my live stream, and then I sat outside and I read for a long time. I'm almost done with my book, The Reunion, or the yearbook. I keep on calling it The Reunion, the yearbook. There should be a follow-up called The Reunion. And, yeah, I did that. And then, what did I do after that? Oh, that was that. And then I got in my car and was driving around. I was listening to my audiobook. And now I'm going to go home and watch an episode of Riverdale, and then I'm going to go to bed. And I don't really have a whole lot to do tomorrow. I have like one meeting in the afternoon, and then that is about it. I never trimmed my beard today. I never like took a shower and trimmed my beard. I know I'm dirty, so that's the first thing I'm going to do when I get up tomorrow morning. But I did have a good day. Did you have a good day? I had fun like going to the different, oh, I got a fountain. Diet Pepsi. I've been like drinking Diet Pepsi a lot lately. I'm not really sure why. But I have been. And so, yep, that's about my life right now. And what else? I haven't even been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately. I've been watching like a lot of Netflix. So I just finished Orange is the New Black, and now I'm watching Riverdale. I'm gonna finish that, and then I don't know what I'm gonna watch. I need to go and watch like some of my series, like go back and like get caught up so that when they come back in the fall, like I'm caught up. Like I really want to keep on watching How to Get Away with Murder with Alex and Jane the Virgin, so I need to catch up with those two. Jane the Virgin, I'm only 1 season behind, and I think it's already back. I think it's already on Netflix. And How to Get Away with Murder, I'm like 2 seasons behind. So that'll probably take me through July. And then Fear the Walking Dead. Is it on right now? I feel like it might be on right now. Yeah, and I've just been having a lot of fun, and I've been reading a lot. I talked about this last night, but Alex went and did all his laundry tonight because for our trip for next week, and then he took a shower and went to bed early. And every time I went in and out, Tucker just barked like crazy, so finally I put them in their house. We have like a crate that we like keep Boo and Tucker in the basement. It's a big crate. And, which Boo just like sits in 24 hours a day anyway. It's so funny, like he goes down there and just like sits in it. And, but yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say. So I put them in there and with some food and water and their blankets and let them go to sleep down there for the night so that Alex could get a good night's sleep. Because if I come in and they're in there, they don't bark. But when they're out, they're sleeping with us. And I come home late, they bark. Well, Boo, like Tucker does. Boo doesn't really bark. Boo only barks if like Pee-Pee and Tucker are barking, and then he barks. I don't think he really knows what he's doing. He's so funny. And Tanya never called me back today. And, so yeah, it was just kind of like a blah day today of getting stuff done. I was like doing bills tonight, and like I have to shift a bunch of money around from these different checking. Do you guys ever do that? Like, have to shift money around? So annoying, isn't it? I like try to get all my bills paid like at the beginning of the month. But I still have to pay my office rent. She's so sweet. I don't know if I talked about this on here, but she used to live across the street from my aunt and uncle when her daughters were growing up, and she called me, she called me to see if I wanted to renew, no. She asked me if I wanted to renew my lease. She like wrote it on like she gives me like a bill every month underneath my door. And she's like, if you want to renew your lease, let me know. And so I called her just to let her know we're like close. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I want to renew my lease. And she was like, oh, good, blah, 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 whatever. And she was like, how are Kathy and Dave? And I said, oh, Sherry, I'm so sorry. I said, did you not know that Kathy passed away in January? And she was like totally taken off guard. And she was like, oh my God, I didn't know that. And I'm so sorry. And she was asking how Caroline was. And so then I was telling Caroline this the other day when I was talking to her on the phone, and I was like, it's so funny, you know, like people still say to me like, oh, like, you know, oh, how's your mom? And I'm like, my mom passed away like 8 years ago. And they're like, really? Oh my God, I didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's been 8 years. I don't really know what to say about it, but. And Caroline's like, I know. She's like, it's really, because my cousin and my aunt were realtors, and so she's like, it's weird when I'll run into people like doing closings and they don't know that mom passed away, and they'll say like, how's your mom? I haven't seen her in the office or whatever, and she'll say, oh, my mom passed away in January, and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And I said, Caroline, just what's weirder is when it's like been like 2 years. Like, I don't know why 2 years is a weird year with grief, but it just is. It's like everything starts to kind of hit you at 2 years, like that you really realize they're not coming back and stuff. And I said, what's really weird is when you run into people at like 2 years and they're like, oh, how's your mom? And then, like, you're like, oh, she passed away 2 years ago. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Especially when it's like a close friend that like knew her really well, but just hadn't talked to her in like a year or two. And they just didn't see the obituary and they didn't know and they weren't contacted and they're kind of off the radar, you know? I remember I had this friend named Marty. He was a really good friend to me. He really helped me out a lot when I got sober. And I met him through my friend Heather. And I was at a gas station one night and I ran into an old friend of mine. And Marty and she and I had all gone to college together. And Marty had gotten into a relationship and Marty and I had kind of had a falling out. So if you want to know who I was back in the day, this is where you become a changed person, you know, like I was that person back in the day that like I wouldn't take somebody's boyfriend. I was never that person, right? But if you were interested in somebody and I thought they were cute too, or I liked them too, like I was like, I'm now a bros before hoes kind of person, but back in the day I wasn't. I was kind of like, I'm gonna get what I want. And like I have really worked on that through the years. Like that behavior is just not very nice. But that's who I was in my early 20s, you know? And Marty had this guy that he like really like crushed on that was a close friend of his for years and years and years. And this guy like was never interested in him. But like I met him and like day one, he was like interested in me. This was before I got sober. I think Marty found out about it after I got sober, but this is a real like moment of honesty here. But like, cause I drank with this guy, cause I can remember he lived like two apartment complexes down from me, and like they had been hanging out, and then this guy like called me and was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I'm not doing anything. He's like, well, do you care if I come down and bring some like beer? And he like brought like a half case of beer. It was like half drank, and he like was buzzed, and we sat in my apartment and we like drank and we ended up like hooking up, and I don't regret it. I do regret treating Marty that way, but Marty never knew about it. And then I remember I got sober, and then later his friend had moved away and like came back to visit him and like asked about me, and Marty was like, well, I didn't even know that you really knew him. And he was like, yeah, and this is like 4 or 5 years later, right? And he was like, yeah, we hooked up. Like I really liked Peter. Like I wanted to date him. And I don't know why I wasn't interested at the time, but I wasn't interested in making him my boyfriend. But anyway, Marty was like, you hooked up with, like, I remember him calling me and being like, I really liked him. You hooked up with him? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm really sorry. I was like, I wasn't, you know, I'm sorry. That's who I was then, but that's not who I am today. And he was like, I can't believe you would have done that to me. But he was a really good friend to me when I got sober, and would never drank around me, and like took me a lot of places, and was just a good sober friend. So I was at this gas station one night, and anyway, time went on, and Marty and I went our separate ways, and he was angry at me for a while, but then like we kind of like, we weren't, I wouldn't say we were friendly again, like friends again, but we were friendly to each other when we would see each other. And he got a boyfriend, and they like were very serious together, and I ran into this girl at the gas station that we had all gone to college with and hung out together. I haven't thought about Marty in a long time, sad. And we used to call him Martin. We go, Martin. And I said, hey, do you ever run into Martin anymore? And she just like stopped and looked at me, and she said, did you not know? And I said, no, what? She was like, Marty died like 2 years ago. I was like, he did? She was like, yeah. My very first boyfriend that I ever had, Jack Hardigan, old Jack Hardigan. We used to call him I just called him Hardigan. He was so cute. He was a painter, and he was in art school when I dated him, and I was so obsessed with him. He had like blonde hair, and he was kind of little like beatnikish. He died too. He died of like Lou Gehrig's or something. And one of my other really close friends, Erin, she was with him. He like came and stayed with her. for the last 6 months that he was alive, and she took care of him up to the time that he passed away, I think. And she told me later, because like he was really mean to me at the end, like when we broke up. I would see him out and stuff, and he would be nice to me after that, but like our breakup was not pretty. And she said he always asked about you. He always wanted to make things right with you, you know? I think people grow as they get older, and we have to give them the opportunity to change, you know? You aren't always the same as you are when you're 20 years old. I know I wasn't. And I would hate if somebody held me to the same standard of who I was when I was 20 years old, you know? It's hard when you get older and people that know your history aren't even alive anymore. I feel like I know so many people that like aren't alive and don't know my story and my history anymore, you know? It's like one of the hardest things with having people around you pass away. It's like, who knows my history, you know? I remember when my mom's best friend, Diane, died like 3 years before she did. Diane had cancer. She lived on the island, well, they called it the island. She lived on Beaver Island in Michigan. And so she had to get radiation, or she got chemo. And it was really hard to go back and forth between the island and like Charlevoix, where she would go for her treatments. And so when the cancer came back, I think Diane decided not to have chemo. I don't know, my mom found out about it. She was really upset. She talked to her mom, and her mom was like, if you want to come up here and see Diane, you need to come up now. She's not going to be around, you know, she's not going to be alive much longer. My mom was like, how am I supposed to get to, it was like in the middle of winter, and she was like, how am I supposed to get to Beaver Island? My mother was terrified to drive at night and on interstates, and she never asked me to take her. I would have taken her up there, you know, and I remember I came over to my mom's just one random day, and she was sitting on the couch smoking a cigarette. I could see her there, just like sitting there. My mom was so pretty, and her hair was just like, my mom had like blonde hair, like most of her life it was longer, and she had like a little page boy, but like towards the end of her life, she wore it in like kind of like a Victoria Beckham like bob, and she had like she always tucked one ear, like one side of her hair behind her ear, and the rest of it just kind of fell across her face. And I remember her sitting there. She was very, like, my mother was always like very, I don't know, like how she wanted to present to the world, but she was like very sophisticated, but she was just sitting there. I'll never forget. She was a sexy smoker. My mother was very much like a Betty Davis, sexy smoker. Just sitting there smoking a cigarette when I walked in, and she didn't even get up, didn't say hi. And I said, Mom, what's going on? And she said, Diane passed away this morning. And I said, what? And she was like, Diane passed away this morning. Remember, she wasn't crying. She was just very still. And I like came around in front of her, and I sat down like in the chair, and I said, are you okay? And she said, I remember she took a long drag off her cigarette, and then she said, I just keep on thinking to myself, you know, like, who now knows my soul? Like, who knows me really at my soul, you know? She was like, because Diane was my closest, dearest friend, and she's like, and now nobody really knows who I am. And I think that's so true. It's like, if Tanya died tomorrow, like, I mean, Alex really knows me, but Tanya really, I mean, Tanya's known me for 20 years, you know? Like, I can't imagine what you do with that, you know? So it's hard as you get older and the people that you know pass away, or I think equally when they move away. You know, Alex and I, his best friend Sarah lives in LA, and she moved a couple years ago, probably 6 years ago now. And he was devastated. I'll never forget, like, Alex is not, like, one of the things of, like, us getting in counseling is for him to show his emotions, because I'm so emotional. Like, this was, like, a big issue with us. I'm so emotional, and he's not at all. And so one of the things about counseling is for me to be less emotional and him to be more emotional, so we can be on like the same emotional page. And I remember, like, we went the last day and we helped pack up her U-Haul, and they were all laughing and joking and everything was real funny and stuff, and then he gave her this big hug, and I remember she started crying and she was like, I'm gonna really miss you, I love you so much. And he said the same thing back to her, but he didn't cry or anything. Then I remember he got in the car and we were driving back. I'm like just gonna start crying thinking about this. We got back in the car and we were driving, and he was kind of sniffling, and I looked over at him and he was just turned and looked out the window, you know. And then she was gone. And they talk a lot, like they talk a lot on the phone and stuff like that, but like this was like a huge issue with us 2 years ago maybe. I said something about like, you know, we both have our best friends, and he snapped at me and he was like, yeah, but I can't go pick up my best friend and drive around and drink a Fountain Coke. And he was like, you know, I don't have that. And I feel so bad for him, you know, like, Alex has made a lot of good friends through the years, but like nothing like Sarah is to him. I mean, she's like his sister. And I know he wishes so bad that they lived in the same city, and it's hard as you get older, you know, people move, life changes, and it'd be wonderful if we could just maybe not stay 18 all of our lives. I don't know that I want to be 18, but like if, you know, maybe like circumstances stayed the same, you know, we never moved out of town. And I think if you live in a small town and all of your people live around you and nothing changes, there is a safety in that emotionally. I've had a lot of friends, they've all gone away, and Tanya and I talk a lot about that, how it's just kind of like us now, you know? And there becomes a point when it's like, it's not that you don't want to make new friends, it's like you know that you're not going to have the time to. I mean, like, if I made another friend, like I have like Tanya right now, I mean, I'd be 65 looking back on like a 20-year relationship, and although that's wonderful and I would be open to that, it's like, we've been through things that, like, I mean, they would never know my mom, you know? I mean, it's just weirdness, you know? So it's just hard, I think. Anyway, a sad discussion to have. Alex is going to go out and visit her, I think, in July. He tries to go out there a couple times a year and visit his best friend. So, anyway. Well, I think I'm going to get off here and go home and watch the episode of Riverdale. I love you guys. So if you have a best friend, hug them and say you love them. And, yeah. All right, you guys. I love you. Bye.